Mirëmëngjesi dhe mirë se erdhët. Do t'i them disa fjalë në shqip edhe për shkak edhe që iniciator dhe gjithçka vjen nga Fondacioni Shqiptar Amerikan, do të vazhdojmë me program shumë të shkurt në gjuhën angleze. Mirë se erdhët të gjithë, i nderuari kryeministër, i nderuari kryetar përparim Rama, i nderuari Joseph Dioguarti, Shirley Cloyd Dioguarti, Dr. Avner Shalev, Shelly, të nderuar pasardhës të familjeve shpëtimtare të hebrejve në Kosovë, shkelqësi ambasador, zonja dhe zotrinj. Duke qenë vetë një nga pasardhësit e familjeve shpëtimtare, më duhet të theksoj që sot është një ditë shumë e veçantë për mua, dhe mendoj edhe për shumicën prej nesh që jemi nga këto familje, për shkak se më në fund po përjetësohen emrat e të parëve tanë me një monument në kryeqytetin tonë, që përgjithmonë të përkujtohet vepra e tyre gjatë luftës së dytë botërore. Prandaj ju falenderoj shumë për ardhmjen dhe që na keni nderuar sot. Dhe tash vazhdojmë me anglisht. Your Excellency Prime Minister Albin Kurti, dear Mr. Përparim Rama, Mayor of Pristina, Honored Joseph Dioguardi, President of the Albanian American Civic League, dear Ms. Shirley Cloyd Dioguardi from Albanian American Foundation, Dr. Avner Shalev from Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, Dr. Orenia Yanai from Jerusalem as well, Professor Rahel Levi-Drumer, our beloved Shelley, dear members of the families of the rest, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inauguration of the Wall of Honor, memorial dedicated to the unique sacrifice of the Kosovar Albanians in rescuing Jews during the Holocaust. As a descendant of one of the rescuers, today I am feeling proud that finally the silent heroes who stood against the evil are being honored as they deserved in their own country. This is a journey that began a long time ago, and together with Ms. Shirley, we continue to arrive to this special day for all of us. I would like to invite Ms. Shirley for a word.
Nderit. Mirëmëngjes. You can hear me, right? I think that, Leka, you already mentioned this, but I'm the executive director of the Albanian American Foundation. I'm also the Balkan Affairs advisor for the Albanian American Civic League, and both of these organizations were founded before I met him, and that is the Honorable Joseph Dioguardi, my husband. So we are gathered together today in honor of the joint work between the Albanian American Foundation and the Kosovo-Israel Friendship Association, which has gone on for 15 years, and we had one goal, and that is to work to reveal the unique role that Albanians played in saving Jews during the Holocaust. But we're gathered here today in particular to honor those Kosovar Albanians who at great risk to their own lives did all they could to save Jews during the Holocaust. And we are gathered, in my opinion, to bring the sacrifices and the achievements of the past into the present and looking forward into the future with great hope.
Thank you, Ms. Shirley. Thank you, Ms. Shirley.
Thank you, sir.
The project to build this monument was also affected by the pandemic, and if there would not be good human beings that believed in our idea, perhaps we might have not been here today. Therefore, we would like to express our deepest appreciation to the Kryeziu family of late Latif Kryeziu for keeping the promise and will of their father to fulfill his promise and dedication in supporting the building of the Wall of Honor. Kryeziu family, thank you very much.
Please stand. Please stand. And we would also like to recognize Agim and Bleder Leshi. Please stand. We want to recognize your humanitarian act to successfully organize, they did, their close friends and family in the Albanian community and beyond in London to make the building of the Wall of Honor in Kosova possible. And as you know, in November 2019, or many of you know, then Pristina Mayor Spenda Meri and the entire municipal assembly voted in favor of the project. But it was in 2022 that Mayor Perperim Rama shepherded this project into its conclusion today, and we want to thank you for that very, very much. We all had to wait for a certain period of time because of the coronavirus. None of us were able to come forward, and so it's only now, by the way, that we can thank you. And I want to thank you for your significant contribution to the building of the Wall of Honor, but it's out of your generosity and also commitment to the national cause. I'm very aware of this, and we cannot thank you enough for that. So.
The building of this monument is a mission for the future generations, and the idea was also affected even on the building. And I want to thank the architects, prominent architect of our country, Mr. Salis Pahiu, and architect Linda Spahiu.
Please stay.
Not only that they are experienced in their field, but to me they are very special, as they are also, as me, descendants of one of the rescuers. And from the beginning, not only that they were dedicated, but that process made us even closer. Thank you, architects Salis Pahiu and Linda Spahiu, for your concept, idea, and experience, but most importantly, for our friendship.
I would now like to introduce our Prime Minister Albin Kurti. The building of the Wall of Honor would not have been possible without Prime Minister Kurti's commitment to achieving international recognition of the role that Kosovar Albanians played, saving Jews during the Holocaust. Prime Minister Kurti's vision, though, is one of working to reveal to the world Kosova's commitment to achieving freedom and peace for the nation and the region. We can't thank you enough. Please come forward.
Dear Mr. Joseph Diogordi, President of the Albanian American Civic League, dear Shirley Close Diogordi, Executive Director of the Albanian American Foundation, dear Professor Rachel Shelley Levy-Drummer, dear Mr. Avner Shalev, dear Mr. Lek Riznisi, Honorable Ambassadors, Jeffrey Hovenier of the United States of America and Jorn Rode of Federal Republic of Germany. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to participate in the dedication of this Wall of Honor. Similar to the Garden of the Righteous among Nations at the Great Holocaust Memorial of Yad Vashem, this wall honors the selflessness and the sacrifice of Albanians in Kosovo, who rescued their Jewish friends and neighbors from the horrific evil of the Holocaust. The wall honors outstanding individuals who showed great civic courage and empathy at a time when German Nazi occupation was attempting mercilessly to eradicate and erase everyone and everything that was Jewish in Kosovo. The wall recognizes individuals by name, and that itself is something to be celebrated as it was by no means inevitable. The heroic acts of these brave people had been lost to the world until the end of the war in Kosovo. It is due to the joint work of the Kosova-Israel Friendship Association and the Albanian-American Foundation that we have unearthed this important piece of the shared history of our two peoples. Thanks to their efforts, the names of these heroes will remain forever etched in this wall rather than forgotten with the passage of time. And yet the significance of this wall goes beyond the individuals it celebrates. The wall not only commemorates their acts, but also serves as a monument to the shared values and to the enduring friendship of the people of Kosovo and Jewish people worldwide. The American philosopher Samuel Scheffler has written movingly about the great importance of having a home, both in space and in time. A home in space, he writes, is not merely a place that we happen to occupy. It is also a place to which we normally have both a claim to return and the capacity to return. It is a place where we feel that we belong and where others treat us as belonging. Those who have no home have no place in the world. The Jews who fled Europe in the first half of the 20th century and the Albanians of Kosovo throughout that century knew that what it meant to be deprived of a home in the full meaning of a word. And for both peoples, it was the founding of a state, the state of Israel and the state of Kosovo, which finally provided them with that robust sense of home, of which they had been previously deprived. The Wall of Honor that we dedicate today also demonstrates that the Jewish and the Albanian people share a home in a temporal sense. The continual remembrance of those who risked their lives to save their fellow human beings is a tradition that commemorates a rare bright light in one of the darkest periods of human history. It is a tradition that celebrates the values we hold in common: friendship, hospitality, dignity, and humanity, and recognizes the people who stood up for these values in defiance of those who sought to destroy them. Like any monument, this Wall of Honor is dedicated not only to history, but also to posterity. It will ensure that the heroes of the past are not forgotten to the future. It will provide us with a permanent memorial through which we can return again and again to that bright light in our shared history. And it will serve as a powerful symbol of the everlasting friendship of our peoples, now and for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. As you know, Përparim Rama is the mayor of Pristina, and a dynamic, creative, and multi-talented individual as an architect and urban planner. Mayor Rama embraced the plan of the Albanian-American Foundation and the Kosova-Israel Friendship Association to build the Wall of Honor, and with his staff shepherded into existence. We are fortunate to have him with us today. Mayor Rama, we welcome your reflections.
Thank you. I'm going to do this in a bit in Albanian and then we'll continue in English. Nderuar Kryeministri i Kosovës, Shkëlqësia e Zoti Albin Kurti, të nderuar zonja Shirley Cloyes dhe Zoti Joseph Diogardi nga Lidhja Qytetare Shqiptaro-Amerikane dhe Fondacioni Shqiptaro-Amerikan, i nderuar Zoti Avner Shalev, ish kryetari i drejtorisë Yad Vashem, i nderuara profesoresh Rahel Levi Drummer, gjyshin e së cilës e ka shpëtuar Arslan Rezniqi, stërgjyshi i të nderuarit kryetarit të shoqatës së miqësisë Kosovë-Izrael, Zotit Lek Rezniqi, dhe individ të respektuar si ju Lek dhe pasardhës të tjerë krenar të familjeve të shpëtimtarëve hebrenj. Të nderuar, të ftuar, zonja dhe zotrin. Një mirëseardhje e ngrohtë për të gjithë ju, miq të dashur, ndërsa jemi mbledhur në Prishtinë, si kryetari i kryeqytetit kam nderin t'ju përshëndes këtu në këtë ngjarje historike që e mbështesim me gjithë zemër. Sot, në zemër të Prishtinës, ne zbulojmë murin e Nderit, një dëshmi e guximit dhe mshurisë dhe përkushtimit ndaj njerëzimit, vlerat që formsojnë historinë tonë të përbashkët. Ky mur i Nderit është më shumë se një strukturë, është një monument i zhytur në histori të jashtëzakonshme. Duke qëndruar përpara saj, zemrat tona mbushen me krenari, ndërsa përjetësojmë një të kaluar që do ta frymëzoj edhe breza tjerë me radhë që do të vinë. I will continue in English. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to all. Dear friends, as we gather here in Pristina, as the mayor of the city, I'm honored to greet you here at this historic event that we wholeheartedly endorse. Today, in the heart of Pristina, we unveil the Wall of Honor, a testament of courage, compassion, and dedication to humanity, values that shape our shared history. This Wall of Honor is more than just a structure. It's a monument immersed in remarkable history. Standing before it, our hearts swell with pride as we immortalize a past that will inspire generations to come. Today's gathering, graced by descendants of those saved and those who saved, pays tribute to those who, during the darkest hours of the 20th century, opened their hearts and reached out to protect lives. The sacrifice and bravery they showed continue to resonate through stories like that of Aslan Reznici, who saved hundreds of Jewish lives by guiding them to present-day Albania. Thanks to Hollywood, the whole world knows of Oskar Schindler, who saved over 1,000 Jewish lives during the Holocaust. Today, as we unveil this Wall of Honor, let it speak to the fact that the Albanians also had our own Schindlers. These was obviously the silent ones, the guardians of humanity, who proved that even in the most sinister times, love between humans transcends any barriers. May this Wall of Honor remain a bridge of friendship to the Jewish people, both in Israel and around the world, and may it stand as an eternal symbol of our love for humanity. Before I conclude, heartfelt thanks to all who tirelessly made this event a reality. Shirley, Joe Diaguardi from the Albanian American Civic League, Lek Reznici here of the Kosovo-Israel Friendship Association, Prime Minister Kurti, our municipality staff, and countless others who contributed time and energy to this paramount monument. And very thanks also to the American ambassador here for being present, to the German ambassador, to the Minister Rosetta Haidari. Thank you all for honoring this historic event with your presence. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Rama. I would like to invite the man that for the first time discovered this story, and that the Jews escaping horrors in other regional and European countries were saved in Albania. To introduce, I would need hours, so I will just invite him to join me here. President of the Albanian American Civic League, former Congressman Joseph Dioguardi.
This day was long in coming. It took a lot of planning. It took the ability to raise enough funds to make it as beautiful as you see today. And I must thank, again, Alvin Curti for generosity of the city of Kosova, of Pristina. Excuse me, Kosova. You know, I usually speak from the heart. I don't like the script out, but today there's so much to say, you need to be scripted. But Shirley and I did something a few months ago that came to mind when I heard the words. We went, because this now is sacred ground, okay? This memorial will be continued as sacred ground to the Jewish people and to the Albanian people. And there's a good example of this in America today, and it's called Gettysburg. You know, we had a president who gave his life so that we can get rid of slavery as a complete horror, injustice for humanitarian, for humankind. And Shirley and I walked those grounds, and I think there was about 200,000 soldiers killed at that point. And finally, there was a president that was assassinated. His name was Lincoln. And we have to remember the ultimate sacrifice he made, much like the ultimate sacrifices that many made for this day to arrive. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to recognize my Albanian roots, Ranjit Shqiptar. It's not... Thank you. It's not easy to explain to people that you're Albanian when you have a name, Dio Guardi. Everybody assumes you're Italian. But they don't know how complicated the world is, especially for Albanians, with all the divisions and with all many things. But I would like to comment just briefly on that name, because it's a beautiful name. It comes almost from the Latin from 2,000 years ago. The word Dio Guardi is two words. Dio means God, Guardi means protect. So when I was in Congress, very difficult for Southerners of Republican and Democrat origins to pronounce this name. They always messed it up. And I had to go up to them to say, no, learn how to pronounce this name, because you are praying when you say Dio Guardi, and you don't even know it. And so with that, I'm just going to leave it. We've had so many good things said already. Shirley, thank you so much for all you have done. Really. I have to say it again. She is Shota Galica. And thank you all for coming today. God love you. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Dioguardi. Any of this would not be possible if it wouldn't be Mrs. Shirley Cloyce Dioguardi. It was my grandfather, Mustafa, that on their last meeting asked that Mrs. Shirley be the link of our Kosovo-Israel Friendship Association and Albanian-American Civic League and Foundation. Me and Mrs. Shirley are working together for almost 15 years on the history of the Jewish rescue by Kosovar Albanians and also in other countries. Her dedication to this cause is not only the engine that made this project happen, but she is an inspiration for me to go on. Mrs. Shirley, I feel that I can never thank you enough. Please, the floor is yours.
Leka, I can never thank you enough. So, the task of preventing genocide in our time benefits from examining why Albanians responded as they did to the Holocaust. And while we have made great strides in technological advancement in the 21st century, we are woefully behind in the world in moral advancement. And I want to quote Gavra Mandel, who has been quoted by our wonderful Avner Shalev. He was a Yugoslavian Jew who with his family was saved by Albanians, and he said, Albanians may not have been educated in the heritage of Goethe and Schiller, the greatest importance to human life, while most of Europe turned its back on the extermination of European Jews, Kosovar Albanians demonstrated tolerance, sacrifice, courage. We're here today to dramatically expand awareness of the Kosovar response to the Holocaust during the world's most horrific hours. And we are here to proclaim that in respecting human life during World War II and in the grips of Nazism in Europe, Albanian culture, the Kosovar Albanian culture, were unique. With that, I'm very fortunate to be here next to you, right? So I was fortunate, and I think Leka mentioned this, the first meeting that my husband Joe Diaguardi and I had with Leka Reznicki and his grandfather, Mustafa Reznicki, it took place in Pristina in 2008. And Mustafa was the first to pave the way for the revelation of the saving role that Kosovar Albanians played during World War II. There was already some awareness about what was happening in Albania, but it was literally no one knew about what was happening, what Kosovar Albanians did during the Holocaust until Mustafa began. And of course we know it's Leka's work documenting the Kosovar families who risked their lives to save Jews at a time when Kosovo was occupied by both Serbs and Nazis. That has made all the difference. We cannot thank the organization enough. Yours, what you took on from, what are we talking about? 4 generations representing the Kosovar Albanian rescue and its commitment going into the future for all time, represented here by the wonderful statue. So now, when the Albanian American Foundation and the Kosovo-Israel Friendship Association made the decision, and this was in 2017, to erect the Wall of Honor for the Kosovar Albanians who saved Jews during the Holocaust, we made a decision at the same time. And that was a decision to model it on the Wall of Remembrance for the Righteous Among Nations at Yad Vashem. And so we are very honored that Avner Shalev, chairman of Yad Vashem Directorate for 30 years, accepted our invitation to be recognized at the opening of the Wall of Honor, and to thank him from the bottom of our hearts for his recognition of the unique role that Albanians played during the Holocaust, years before others in position of power and influence were willing to recognize this truth, and in many cases continuing to deny it. So with that, Chairman Shalev, may we welcome you to the stage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
His Excellency Prime Minister of Kosovo, dear Chairman, Director of the city of Pristina, my dear, I can call you a friend, Joe Diaguardi, who expresses correctly. And my dear friend Shelly, Rachel, who comes from Israel, and many other guests, dear ambassadors, I'm glad that you are here with us this morning. Allow me to express 2-3 thoughts. We have here on this unique Wall of Honor engraved 23 very courageous Albanian human beings. Their names are also engraved on the Mountain of Remembrance in Jerusalem, Yad Vashem. but the names and the wall goes far beyond the remembrance of the courageous human being. Because at that period of the Second World War, the period of the genocide of the Jewish people, what we call a Holocaust, or in Hebrew, Shoah, was an awful period. Not only the suffering, the cruelty, and the so many victims murdered every human being, a person, another person, day by day, plummeted to 6 million human beings. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine it? It was a period, and this is the most important point, that beyond the suffer, beyond the cruelty, beyond the pain, actually, it was a huge break of human civilization, of human values, because the values of the importance of human lives, human beings who were created in the image of God. And we know and we share those values, and those values collapsed totally. Many people collaborated with Nazi Germany. Others, many others, kept silence, and the murder went on and on and on. But these unique, courageous people, they did something beyond saving human beings. They saved the human values of that period that collapsed. And I think that we should remember it, because they are the lights of the memories, of the values of human beings worldwide. And this is the reason why they are so dear and important to us. This is the reason that we will study and tell the world, because they have a universal message. They do internationally a very important task, and we should know it, remember it, and teach it again and again to the young generations all over the world, because this was the most important thing that they are symbolizing. And this is my duty and honor to be here and to pay tribute. And I must say that Albanians is a unique case in the history of the Second World War. In every European state, the Jews after the war or was totally wiped or were smaller numbers all over. The only place in the territories that Albanians used to live, there were more Jews after the war than in the beginning of the war. And this is the reason, of the importance of the values that Albanians used to have. And it was said properly by Prime Minister, by others. It was the deep understanding of human value, human life, and the word of honor, Besa, that they honored so much. So we shall tell the story everywhere, and this wall will be part of this great story internationally. Thank you all for coming and being with us. Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Shalev, for all these inspiring words. And I'm so happy that finally we are meeting in Pristina and having you here after meeting in Jerusalem. So, we are about to approach the end, since I know that it's already starting to be hot. I run today the Kosova-Israeli Friendship Association that was established in 2005 by my late grandfather, Mustafa Reznici, and late prominent researcher, Jangule Yazi. She had made a tremendous research She has made a tremendous research and so unique that I also today inherited her work. So it wasn't that it started with me. And I'm very happy that I had the chance to cooperate with her, and I'm very sorry that she is not here today with us, because she would also be happy and proud for all the work that she also was part of. So, thank you. So I would continue with the last guest of our honored guest, honoree, which brings the history of rescuing of Jews to another dimension and to nowadays. As it was mentioned, I am the 4th generation of the rescuers. But the communication and relationship with the families of the survivors is continuing. So on both sides, we are now flourishing even more and every day getting stronger our friendship and Dr. Haim Abravanel's descendants and family. And we are very happy that today she honored us with her presence from Israel, his granddaughter, Dr. Rahel Levi Drumer, our beloved Shelley.
Since I'm the last and most of the important things were said already, I'll try to be short and maybe bring just in short words the history of our families. So, dear guests, your excellencies, dear honored guests, I'm here to present the story of and the legacy of my grandfather, Dr. Chaim Abravanel, that was rescued here at 1941 by the Arslan Rezniki family, and tell the story of and the legacy of Dr. Chaim Abravanel, who was a medical doctor at his last days in Macedonia, in Bitola. His legacy was just, what's important is be a human being, a man. Give the honor to every man, every human being, no matter who and what you are, no matter of your nationality, religious, gender, color, or whatever. And we're trying to bring his legacy here and present it every day. And as Elie Wiesel said, and this is in the honor of the survivors of Jews during the Holocaust here in Kosovo, the Albanians who survived the lives of Jews. The opposite of hatred is not love. The opposite of love is not being indifferent. You must be very involved in everything you are doing in the life. Be sensitive to the world, to the human beings around you. Be sensitive and act. Not forget to be active in all your steps in what you are doing in your life. So that's something that we're trying to do with Leka, me and Israel in Leka here in Kosovo, and also in Israel. We're 4 generations of Jewish and Muslim families telling the legacy of Dr. Chaim Abravanel and also of Elie Wiesel. We're acting and doing and remembering and giving the presence of what a human being is and what's the importance of being involved and presenting the importance and the meaning of a human being all over the world. So thank you very much to the Rezniki family, especially to Leka, to the Djurgårdi family, and to the Prime Minister of Kosovo, and to all of you. Thank you for being here with us.
So, we will conclude now. We're gathered together to recognize the Kosovo Albanian rescuers whose names are permanently preserved for all time in the Wall of Honor. And Leka and I would like to name the names. And we'll begin with me, and you will continue. I know I don't speak Albanian, but hopefully I want this to be precise. Ahmet Hasimja, Arif Alichkai, Arslan Rejniki, Basri Hassani, Faik Sabria Shari, Hassan, Rema.
No, Halim.
Sorry, I missed it. Halim Spahia. And Hassan Mullah Shabani. Did I do that?
Hasan Rema Zerza. Isa Nuza. Jakub Hafiz Halimi. Yunus Belegu. Yusuf Nimonaj.
Neshat Dizdari. Shamil Lusha. Ramadan Nusa. Rabijap Lokai. Sadiq Kaluli.
Sejdi Sulemani. Shaban Hasan Ramaj. Shani Nuza. Gjafer Ibishi. Gjeladin Leshi. Bimer Lokaj. Ladies and gentlemen, we are closing our inauguration ceremony of the Wall of Honor, and by this I would like again to invite you to the seminar that we are having at 2 p.m. at Emerald Hotel, where we are going to share in more detail the whole history of rescuing of Jews. Thank you very much for honoring us with your attendance.
And finally, we would like to recognize the beautiful contribution of the brass ensemble of the Kosova Philharmonic. Please give everyone. Thank you so much.
Okay. Tu veç u ndërpreva, vazhdim.